Today's lesson is factoring quadratics. So the first way is to do the greatest common factor. I always like to multiply it in factored form. So if I have 9 times x plus, I know that 9 is a factor of 18. 9 times 2 times x. Then the greatest common factor is 9 here and also an x. So the process of factoring means that I'm going to take this out of the expression. I'm factoring it out, so it's 9x. And so this is outside of the expression, so you have 9x times x plus 2. Now, to check if this is correct, all you would have to do is apply the distributive property, 9x times x, which is 9x squared, and then 9x times 2, which gives you 18x. The next method for factoring is called grouping. What you want to do is you have an expression and you want to group the first two terms. So you have x cubed plus 4x squared, and that's grouped together, plus 2x plus 8, and that's grouped together. Not all the time I do this, but I like to put this in factored form. So you have x times x plus 4 times x plus, I notice that 2 will go into 8. So I'm going to say 2 times x plus 2 times 4. So within each parentheses, you are going to factor the greatest common factor. So here we have x times x. You have x times x, so this is x squared. Parentheses, so you factored it out, and you're left with x plus 4. Plus, then you look at the second parentheses and you factor what they have in common in this expression. That's the greatest common factor, so you have 2, and you have x plus 4. Now you notice we have an expression, and you might be saying, well, it got longer, but if you notice, they have this in common. So ultimately you're going to factor x plus 4, that's factored, and that's factored. Now you're left with x squared plus 2. This next method is called the factor sum method. Traditionally, all we do is look at the value c, and we're going to go ahead and list two numbers that will multiply to give you -6. So you have -6 and 1, 6 and -1. We have -3 times 2, and we have 2 times -3, and then you just start adding. Now the one that you're interested in is the one that's going to give you the middle coefficient. In this case, it is -5, so we lucked out. The first two factors gave us a -5, so the factors are x minus 6 times x plus 1. This next method is substitution. What you need to notice is that this is raised to the 4th power. So we're going to let u equal x squared. So actually you have here u to the 2nd power minus 3u minus 18. We have u is equal to x squared. So now you're gonna go ahead and do what we did before, the factor sum method. Find the factors of -18. So we have -6 times 3. We have 6 times -3. We have 18 times 1. One of them has to be negative. And then 18 times -1, of course. Once again, the first two work. So you have u minus 6. And then we have u plus 3. Now, remember that u was x squared. So now you just go back and you substitute. So you have x squared minus 6. And we have x squared plus 3. This next method is called the slip and divide method. What you need to do first is multiply 2 times 10. And what you do in this next statement is you write x squared plus 9x plus 20. Because 2 times 10 gives you 20. Then what you do is you find the factors of 20 that add up to be 9. So you have factors of 20. I know that we have 4 times 5, and 4 plus 5 gives you 9. So I'm going to write it as x plus 4 times x plus 5. Now, we did divide by 2. So we're going to go back, and we're going to divide by 2. And so we have x plus 4 divided by 2 is 2. Now we notice that 5 divided by 2 is not divisible. So you're going to move the 2 to the top. So you have 2x plus 5. The next method is called difference of squares. We have 4x squared minus 49. You have to get the square root of both terms of 4 and 49. So the square root of 4 is 2. The square root of 49 is 7. And you do know that a squared minus b squared is equal to a plus b times a minus b. So what you're going to have, of course, this is your a. So it's actually 2x. So you have 2x plus 7. Since a is 2x and b is 7, and then you have 2x minus 7. A perfect square trinomial, I'm going to do it using the slip and divide. So 9 times 1 is 9. So you have x squared minus 6x plus 9. You want to find the factors of 9 that will give you negative 6. So it's going to be negative 3 and negative 3. You add negative 3 plus negative 3 gives you negative 6. So the factors are x minus 3 times x minus 3. Well, you have to divide by 9 since you took out the 9. So you have x minus 1/3, x minus 1/3. And since it's in the denominator, it's 3x minus 1 times 3x minus 1. So this will be 3x minus 1 to the second power.